Good morning, my friends. This is Steve with Real Progressives. Today is not going to be a happy conversation. Today is actually going to be somewhat of a call to arms. Now, before I get into the meat of this conversation, I want to make sure that you understand that I take no pleasure in actually speaking to this subject today. I want you to understand point blank that I derive absolutely zero satisfaction from what I'm about to tell you. In fact, I'm almost brought to tears over the revelations that I'm about to share with you. So as we all have seen in the local news and the national news and the global news, that people are taking this IPCC report about the environment very seriously. You're seeing, for the first time maybe ever, an initiative to bring about real responses to climate change, probably the first time in any meaningful way in our lifetimes. You see right now the advancement of the buzzword anyway, a Green New Deal. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a freshman Congress critter who has not even started her job yet, has been leading the charge on this quite successfully with the help of course, modern monetary theory economists such as Dr. Stephanie Kelton, and her advisor Andres Bernal has been very instrumental in assisting that as well. I want to give a shout out to their work. But I want to take it away for a moment and talk about the people that should be really helping. Really should be helping this cause. And that's the Green Party National. The Green Party National, going way back, created this Green New Deal. They came up with it and they ran on it. Jill Stein ran on it. They promoted it. Now, when I say what I'm about to say, I'm praying that you will understand that my heart is about to burst with sadness and rage at what we're talking about here. The Green Party has chosen. Now, this is when I say the Green Party, I want to be very clear here. I'm talking about the old codgers, the guys that have become lifers, the ones that are just as bad as the DNC, the ones that have embedded themselves and are literally living off of the Green Party, those people, like Howard Schweitzer and others. And they have embedded this idea of greening the dollar, of money reform, and have told outrageous lies to their entire party through backdoor listservs and through many other patterns of getting the word out. They have misled their people so severely that the only thing they're left doing is saying, hey, the Green Party came up with the name Green New Deal first. But I want to tell you what's going on. This is an incredibly important thing. If you're a Green Party person, I love you and I'm with you, and I want you to understand this as I speak. I don't want you to take this as bashing. In no way, shape, or form is what I'm saying bashing. I am giving you the straight drop truth so that you can be effective in making your party effective, so that it can be actually useful. People like Howard Schweitzer are advancing this thing called greening the dollar. Now, I've talked at length about project management principles and understanding that they tell us we have 12 years to stave off cataclysmic climate disaster. 12 years. Now, I want you all to think about all the legislation that you've witnessed Washington, D.C. take action on over the last 12 years. And I want you to count on your one hand the number of really important initiatives that have served the people. I've got time. You're only going to be able to come up with maybe one or two, max. And they were even bastardized neoliberal garbage plans, like the ACA. So the Green Party is pushing for the NEED Act. The NEED Act redefines banking. It ends the Fed. It eliminates basically private credit. It creates a money review board, an unelected money review board. It does all these things, basically instituting what they call positive money, but it's a bastardized version of positive money through something called the American Monetary Institute, through the works of Stephen Zarlenga, who is now dead and gone, God rest his soul. But they have become religiously held to this nonsense. Now, we have got 12 years to address. When I say address, I'm not talking about coming up with a plan for climate change. I'm talking about having taken vast steps to institute a mass mobilization the world has never seen before, or at least since World War II. Before that 12-year period hits, to change the carbon footprint so that we have a chance to stave off horrible conditions that will leave many dead and suffering. Dead or suffering, I should say. When you're dead, you're out of suffering, thank God. The Green Party has decided that they don't have the ability to do a Green New Deal. So rather than rally and support advancing a Green New Deal and helping keep them honest and advancing this thing and making them stay the course, they've decided to double down on this money reform because they realize they don't have any power, unfortunately. They have zero power. So rather than enable the people that are fighting for a Green New Deal to have the ammo and the air cover of the entire progressive movement advancing this, they want to say that we don't have a sovereign currency. They want to say that we can't just spend money because we have to, the United States government has to borrow money from private banksters in order to be able to spend anything. Their Section M of the Green Party National Platform specifically talks about national debt fear porn. It would look very similar to a right-winger. If you didn't read it with Jill Stein's voice, but instead read it with Paul Ryan's voice, it would sound the exact same. It is an abomination. So severe, so wretched, that they could never pass a Green New Deal. And this is what I'm coming to find. In talking with friends that are actively fighting within the Green Party, hallelujah, there are many, many foot soldiers fighting this fight to try and overthrow and get rid of this garbage, this scourge from the Green Party. And to those people that are fighting, I have my fist up with you, brothers and sisters. I know who you are, and I salute you. But for those people that are running around, advancing this poppycock, this propaganda, that the United States can't do this stuff because it's in debt to private banksters, is akin to murder in my mind. Because when the people start dying, because we couldn't mobilize, because they sidelined a huge chunk of the progressive movement, I say shame on you. I say shame on you. The Green Party has no answer to how it would pass a Green New Deal, and that's why it couldn't advance a Green New Deal to begin with. They have a saying, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. You be the judge of what they should be doing right now with that mindset. The people within the Green Party that are fighting to get rid of this scourge that Howard Schweitzer and friends are pushing, the ones that understand MMT, modern monetary theory, that are working the channels, the back channels, to try to get the knowledge to the people, those people are doing God's work, because we need the Green Party. We need our progressive brothers and sisters fighting this fight. We've got 12 years. And that means we need an incredible presence to push this through. It can't be about which party does it. I don't care, and you shouldn't either. If Donald Trump woke up tomorrow morning and said, hey guys, I want a Green New Deal, you better be all over that thing. We have 12 years. 12 years. And what it comes down to is the Green Party, these old timers, they want to end consumption, basically. They're more concerned with this idea of money reform than actually saving the planet and making it so that we can actually take care of each other in a sustainable way. That is terrifying to me. Because the marketing of a Green New Deal is very important. And yes, Lon, many Greens are, and that's why I salute you. But you must have a revolution in that party and overthrow those people that stand in the way of saving our lives. Our lives are on the line. This is not a game. And I am devastated, folks, devastated. This is not, like seriously heartbroken that there are people that stood in my way of trying to teach this stuff. When I've been fighting day in and day out, it's not even about me, it's about you. You need to do this war. And Lon, I salute you, brother. Thank you for everything you're doing. But I'm telling you right now, a Green New Deal only happens when we can unleash the power of the federal purse to mobilize resources never before seen in our history. Never before seen in our history. It's going to take something incredibly special. It's going to require a global effort. It's not just going to be a U.S. effort. You know how we were able to get all these countries cobbled together to bomb Iraq? Well, we're going to need to cobble together an even bigger coalition to save our planet. The Amazon rainforest is now under the control of a fascist, a right-wing fascist that's ready to sell off the rainforest to the highest bidder. Folks, I want to tell you something else too that most people don't think about. Fidel Kaboub is one of the most intelligent men I know on the planet. And he talked to me in a podcast that we'll be releasing in the future here. He talked to me about these third world nations, these underdeveloped economies that produce oil. And they don't have the refining skills that some of the more advanced societies have. And their entire economy, like Venezuela and others, are completely dependent on oil production. We must have a transition strategy ready in the wings to protect them from destroying everyone's lives and creating even more death. You want to talk about refugees fleeing their countries and coming up, watch the spike in xenophobia. We need a transition strategy that takes into account the people that are going to be left behind. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you, hear me. I have never in my entire life been more serious when you look at these third world countries that are completely and utterly dependent on oil. And when we have to go into green energy, sustainable energy, and they don't have an answer for how to survive, and those mass migrations begin, and their land becomes arid, and their food supply dries up, and you have more Yemens, and you have more terrorism, because what happens when people are desperate? Desperate people do desperate things because the need to survive outweighs anything else. We must be the agent that helps that out. We must create the green sustainable economy, the green sustainable planet, and we must lead that charge with a Green New Deal. And it can't wait to end the Fed. It can't wait to institute the NEED Act. It can't wait for money reform. It can't wait to do all these other things. And it's time the Green Party National was called out for it straight up. Unapologetically, consistently, and always like a pounding hammer. Recurring. Bam, bam, bam. Do not let them hide under the rocks. Do not let them hide in the shadows. Do not let them lie. Do not let them fake it. Go for the jugular. They must not be allowed to do this any longer. They must be routed out, shown to be what they are, which is charlatans. They have literally taken a beautiful thing. They had a tremendous opportunity, and the people there deserve the kind of leadership that pushes the right things forward instead of this cockamamie lie, this fraud. The people in the Green Party deserve better than that leadership. They deserve people that are trying really, really hard to push forward a Green New Deal, whether it be inside or outside, doesn't matter. We don't get to choose to have a Green Party planet and a Blue Party planet and a Red Party planet. It doesn't work that way. We're going to have to find a way to coexist with Republicans too. Even anarcho-capitalists are going to have to find a way to hang out and be a part of this thing. It's that big a deal. We have 12 years to not institute change, but to have already taken steps to mitigate the problem. We have to mitigate this problem before 12 years. We have to get it done in 12 years, not just come up with a plan in 12 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is huge. And there are still people out there who doubt climate change. There are still people out there who doubt, in spite of what's going on in Florida, in spite of what's going on in California, in spite of what happened in Puerto Rico, in spite of what's going on in the Middle East, in spite of what's going on in Africa, in spite of all of it, they're still in denial. We don't have time to be sidelined by fraudulent money reformers who really don't have a clue how to implement a Green New Deal. We need each other to push this forward like a movement, not like a party, but like a movement, a green movement. A movement that advances people and planet over profits for real and means it. That's fighting the right fight for the 12 years that we've got to deal with. We didn't ask for this fight, but it's the fight that we've been given. And we must rise to the occasion, or we will pass on a debt to our children that we can never pay off. A real debt, unlike the garbage in the Green Party National freaking Section M right-wing baloney fest. And I want you to understand why I'm even saying this to you all. Those people that circulated this at the top amongst the delegates, there was a MMT revision that was championed by the Nebraska Green Party. Folks, I'm telling you, there are people in the Green Party fighting this fight. This is not some outside. There are people in that party fighting this fight. But the powers that be had the resources and were able to push. They were able to push this gibberish to the point where it was over 95% of the delegates voted to keep MMT out of the mix so that they could keep their ridiculous money reform plank in there. Folks, most of those people don't have a clue about economics. They don't have a clue. But yet they voted because Howard Schweitzer ran game through all the listservs and through all the other mechanisms that they had. He lied about MMT. We've got screenshots of all his lies. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't hold them accountable for this, we're going to end up in a real serious problem. Howard Schweitzer, Lisa, ask Guillaume, ask Lon Diffenderfer, ask any one of them, Tim Runkle and others. Folks, there are many people out there, Shane Fry, Casey Callahan, many, many, many others that are trying to get this taken care of. You also have, of all people, Rodolfo Cortez, who fought tooth and nail to get MMT through during his campaign. It's sad that people don't know this like I'm the one that knows this, but I'm telling you right now, you need to know this. It's time for that revolution inside to topple those people and make sure that we survive as a species. It's important, and it is in your hands. And I love Jill. I want to be clear here. This is not an issue of personalities. I actually love Jill Stein. I voted for Jill Stein. I supported her during the general election. I've interviewed her many times. I've been on the same stage with her. I care about Jill Stein. I care about the Green Party. I want you to be very clear. I've gone to New Jersey and presented at the national meeting. I've spoken in my state Green Party as the keynote speaker. I've done many things. I care. This is not a bash. I want you to understand where I'm coming from. We have 12 years. We have 12 years, folks. I couldn't be any more serious. 12 years. And they are literally misleading people because they would rather win their little prize and die than actually be successful as a species and all of us thrive and have a future once we survive this, that we can really talk about what our priorities are and really make a difference. But in the meantime, we have 12 years. And I hope this message was received with the intention in which I presented it, which is I care about you. I care about all of us. I care about my children. I care about a Green New Deal more than anything. I do this 7 days a week because I care. It's cost me my career. I've given everything I've got for this. There's no shade here. I'm speaking as a man, a father, a son, a citizen of this planet who wants to see change. It's time the Green Party abandon AMI, abandon the bullshit, and embraced modern monetary theory, reaches out to Stephanie Kelton and says, how can we help you make it happen? And not weird it up, but be serious and follow the leader. She's been working very hard. Incredible amounts of tact and stealth and working the channels to make sure that we have a Green New Deal in position. And I'm here to tell you, I need your help. You need our help. We need each other. Don't let this moment pass us by. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives. Have a great day, everyone. Please take me seriously and take action. Have a good day.